go, baby. I've already stayed too long.
Another day, another vlog, another video.
I don't wanna go, baby.
Man,
But I've got to be getting on home.
yes, recording. Currently been reading The Way of the Superior Man. Yeah. As I said, it's literally called A Spiritual Guide to Mastering the Challenge of Woman, Work, and Sexual Desire. If you're mature enough, you're not, wasted, you're not a waste man or degenerate. One of the best books for this generation, if not the best book for this generation. I can't think of any book. Like, in terms of making money, sure, but in terms of just being social and interacting with other people, the best book. I read this book 2 times over, reading for the 3rd time. I learned something new. Sorry, as I said, huge pizza. There's so much to learn, there's so much to understand, and the reason I love this book, and the reason I just want to talk right now, is because I don't, there's a lot of people out there, friends, family, relationships, partners, from this generation particularly, and we can all look at straight in the eye and think, what on earth is going on? This is like, terms like brotherhood is being more popular because of people like Andrew Tate and more the red pill community kind of promoting it, and I love that. Brotherhood is so important. Being there for someone all the time, that's brothers. Something that should be more promoted is probably people say I like to yap a lot in these videos. I think that's what I kind of do, is by the kind of structure these videos. If you're wondering, I love show a vlog, maybe at some point in the middle of the vlog, spend 5 to 10 minutes just talking about a topic. I think we're in a position where, in complete honesty, we're going down from here as a humanity, as a people group. We're going down from here. I don't imagine humanity going up. In terms of peace. I'll explain by saying, if you know the quote, strong man creates good times create weak men, a weak man creates hard times, and hard times create strong men. And yes, there's obviously certain groups of people who are very strong mentally, physically. I have guys like that in my corner for sure, but that is not the average. That is, unfortunately, the top 20% of men, and it's gone to a point where it's almost gonna be a downward spiral. Now, we had a conversation on a podcast where we talked about how Gen Zs potentially be the people that have saved this save these Western countries, such as the UK, such as Germany, such as look at AfD, the alternate German party. They're currently right now the number one politically party of Germany. That's a right-wing young party. It was just made in 2018. In Canada, we have the People's Party of Canada. And these are younger parties who've just been established a couple of years ago, and these are parties that have been most supported by the young generation. Why? Because of all the woke bullshit, the bullshit that we don't really, that not that we don't agree with, but that doesn't make any sense. Transgender, or fucking like putting certain priorities over certain things, like sending billions of dollars to Ukraine or Israel, where we have a huge housing problem or a huge market problem. So this book is so important because I feel like we are, as a generation, we are the weak men. Even the best of men from this generation, compare them to the greatest generation, that's from the 1900s, before World War II started. Compare that generation to this generation, it's not even close. It's embarrassing almost how much we've fallen over 100 years. And to be completely honest with you, this book is so much important. Now, you can, again, as I said, you can either be arrogant to not read this book, lazy to not read this book. I don't know if you can be stupid. I think stupid is very hard to imagine, but This book is one of the best books you can read. It's a book that I would recommend everyone everywhere I go. I read books like 48 Laws of Power, Atomic Habits, Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. Um, Typical books, not the common books you find from red pill communities. But this is the only book I would say, drop everything, read, because it teaches you everything about female male relationships. And it sounds very gay saying that if you're not in a relationship yourself, like me. But I've seen some people go through relationships, and after reading this book, I'm like, I look through the relationship and I'm like, you're making clear errors that makes your woman not respect you, or vice versa. So this book talks about that, but this book really talks about your comfort zone and how you should always think. It says in one of the pages, if I can find, okay, another good one is live as if your father were dead. That's not something most people think of. A man must love his father, yet be free of his father's expectations and criticism in order to be a free man. Like, I know some people who, if they hear this, will be rejuvenated. Um, this book is incredible. Another one could be, this is one of them which I've noticed. It's not just with women like in a sexual relationship, like your girlfriend, but like your relationship with your mother, or your relationship with your sister, or any relationship with any female figure, your grandma, whatever. Is tolerating her lead to resenting her, right? A lot of men, you know, they see a woman say a couple words, they get very angry about those words, and they get emotional about them. Even the most stoic of men, um, if their sister or the mother or whatever female model in their life, um, you know, resents them or annoys them, nags them, doesn't come to understand that that's their nature. Their nature is to test you constantly, and I've learned that from this book. I never learned that from actual experience, and maybe that's different. But I think as a lot of men, let's be honest, a lot of men nowadays, I don't know, maybe they are in a relationship, maybe they're not in a relationship. I'm not sure the percentile is, but what I will say is majority of them are in a relationship that is sinful, but most importantly, wasteful. It's wasting their time and energy because I feel like that kind of relationship is not helpful in them in any regard. And I have guys who went through relationships, not even see the actual woman, just texts and DMs and at most FaceTime calls. But then once that relationship's kind of deteriorated, they get emotional about it. And for me, I have no right to say, hey, that's kind of fucked up. You never seen this woman before. You're getting emotional about it. But at the same time, I always believe that the female role models, the female roles in our life are the irreplaceable ones. I feel like the male positions in our life can be replaceable. Like take your father for example. You can replace your father with a coach or a mentor. You can replace your brother with another brother. You can replace, you know, your son with another guy. Male positions in life can be replaceable, whereas the female positions in life, since there's so much, since there's so much emotion to it, because women demand emotion out of you, you can get attached to it. Like your mother, you can never find another man in your life other than the one you have right now. You'll never find another sister in your life other than the one you have right now, because when you're dealing with a woman, it's a it's a certain relationship. It's a certain relationship that is either it's unconditional or it's intimate, right? You're either having an intimate relationship with a woman or you're having an emotional relationship with a woman, and it can be both, or it can be either or. It tends to be either intimate and emotional or just emotional, and I think that's why a lot of men have a hard time leaving their woman, and that's what leads to downfalls of this generation, of how weak the generation got. Reading a book like this, The Way of Superior Man, is so good. Um, each time I read it, I just not learn, but I just come to understand certain things. And it's best to read certain books, even if you read it once, read it again and again and again, get those ideas instilled into you. Um, like one of my favorite ones is like chapter 8, which says, "Lean just beyond your edge," which essentially amplifies the idea of living just beyond your comfort zone. constant state, and that is something I feel like if men do that, if I like, I'll be completely honest with you, that is something I'm scared of doing, living just outside your comfort zone at a constant rate. That is something I don't know how to manage that, or I don't know how to live that. I want to try. I want to try to structure my life like that, but there's certain ideas in this book that I feel like this generation would greatly benefit. It's just unfortunate that we live in a generation where social media, procrastination, and just laziness is so abundant. As I said, NC says, you're either lazy, arrogant, or stupid. People are not stupid. People are just either very arrogant, and that's usually to confine themselves down to laziness. And it's. Listen, I'm no perfect man. I succumb to those, to those habits as well. I don't want to do shit. I don't want to record, to be honest with you. Just eat a bunch of pizza. I just want to slide down, sit down, get, wait for the time to leave and get out of here. But no, that's not how life works, and that's not how life will ever work. So overall, what I'll say to, again, people say I'm a yap. I like, this is why I create YouTube channel, because I always feel like I always think to myself, I have a conversation with myself in such an interesting way that it's so prudent in the fact that I kind of want to create a YouTube channel. That's why I started the podcast initially, because I love talking. I love having conversation about anything. I'm very philosophical, but that's the best part about human psychology, that you can understand certain things and be mesmerized by it, but at the same time understand it to a point where you can understand that, okay, this is not good. Like right now, we are the worst generation. I can't imagine. I mean, you got Gen Alphas coming up. We got the Gen Betas, the new generation Gen Betas. Like my kids are gonna be born in the generation right now, the 2025 to 2039 generation. My kids are gonna be born in that generation. It's crazy. And that tells me time is ticking. Time is ticking, ticking, ticking. And it's scary, scary. So listen, I've been talking way too much. I'm gonna leave here. I'm gonna get going. I try to do a vlog. It's not really a vlog, but I get vlogs going after the exams. I'm collaborating with certain people. I know a lot of people want to create content. That's really important this summer. 4 months, create content as much as we can. So we'll see what can get done. But I think, yeah, way more than enough. I just need to get this clip recorded because it was on my mind. But yeah, daily videos. Let's see, exam season going on. All right, catch you later. Peace.
Let me go, baby.